KFC has brought back its chicken and waffles meals. Fan favorite hasn't been on the menu for more than 5 years. For $7, customers get one waffle and syrup with a couple of pieces of fried chicken or chicken tenders. Company spokesperson says these items are all out in time for Mother's Day. To help celebrate, the chicken chain offering free delivery on digital orders through Mother's Day weekend. A $25 box gets you more of each. KFC is also putting a new dessert item on the menu. Strawberry and cream poppers. They are a flaky pastry with strawberry and cream filling.
1 in 3 fast food customers regret their order before they even finish it. But at KFC, there are 7 items where regret is almost guaranteed, and employees are quietly admitting why.
It is a humiliating sight for one of the country's biggest food brands. In city after city, a second day of shuttered stores running short of their vital ingredient.
Well, I get a free rice box then for coming down because I've had to go to Burger King.
Today, the logistics firm DHL apologised for that inconvenience, blaming operational issues. Many of those that were open, like this one in Sheffield, were offering fewer options, and it seems it wasn't just chicken that was off the menu.
I just gone for coffee, and they said there is no milk.
From fries that collapse like wet paper to chicken that crunches like gravel, we dug through the staff talk and found exactly which ones you should skip. By the time you see number 7, you'll realize how many times you've paid premium prices for what's basically reheated disappointment. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
KFC switched its supply contract to the company last week. It relies on a single distribution centre here in Warwickshire.
As far as I've seen, it's a chaos inside.
Alexandru tells me he's been sitting in his cab for 3 hours waiting to get into the depot. In all, there are nearly 900 KFC stores. Tonight, just 469 are open. Some estimates suggest the chain may be losing £1 million a day, but it's hard to be sure because 80% of stores are franchises.
Everybody is going everywhere and nobody has a clue about what they're doing. I mean, everything is packed with chicken, olive oil, and everything that we deliver.
Let's start with the one menu word that sounds like a promise but often delivers the opposite: crispy. You see it and you think fresh, golden, and satisfying. The sound of that crunch is supposed to mean you're getting something hot and straight from the fryer. But at KFC, that label has taken on a meaning that's closer to illusion than guarantee. The truth is, extra crispy has less to do with what's in the bucket and more to do with what's on the billboard. The brand promotes the term as if it represents an upgrade: extra flavor, extra texture, extra everything. The ads show steam rising and flakes of crust flying like confetti. You're told it's the premium pick, the upscale version of the standard chicken you already know. It's marketed as the kind of indulgence you go for when a regular piece just won't cut it. On paper, it sounds like a clever innovation. Pay a little more, get a fancier crunch. But what happens inside those kitchens tells another story entirely. Employees call these tenders gravel sticks, and that nickname isn't meant affectionately. Once they've spent too long under heat lamps, something inside them changes. The oil in that dense coating starts to break down, seeping into the breading until it loses its snap.
These staff don't know how much they'll be paid this week.
It's kind of a shift by shift thing, so like if you're working like 12-5, you have to check your phone in the morning to see if you're needed. And if not, then you just kind of have to sit and wait to see if you have to come in.
But it concedes that for the rest of this week, fried chicken fans may find it harder to get hold of.
There's a bit of a worry. I've talked to my other colleagues saying that because some of them are relying on it for rent.
KFC says the number of deliveries is increasing and the number of closures reducing.
By the time it hits your tray, that extra layer of crunch is nothing more than a greasy shell. Bite through it and you'll find chicken that's been drained of moisture, like it's been sitting in a desert of its own making. That disconnect starts with how the fast food timeline actually works. For a fried item to stay crisp, it needs airflow and timing, a short rest, then service. In a high-traffic kitchen, you can't always pull that off. So those extra crispy pieces often sit beneath glowing lamps designed to keep them safe for hours. But holding food like that turns fresh batter into armor plating. It looks fine, even shiny, but inside, the clock has already run out on flavor. You end up paying for something preserved by temperature instead of freshness. It's a common trade-off in fast food. The system rewards stability, not spontaneity. Cooking in batches means fewer delays, happier drive-through timers, and consistent serving numbers. But it also means the chicken waiting for its next customer isn't exactly new. The crisp coating you see is really the byproduct of those operations, easier to advertise than to eat. The starch and oil that make it feel crunchy at first are the same compounds that become soggy or rubbery the longer they sit. When you finally unwrap that box, you're expecting the sound bite you've seen in commercials, the crack of a fresh crust giving way to juicy meat. What you get instead is something closer to a gentle crumble, a crunch only because your teeth are searching for resistance. It's like buying a bag of potato chips that look puffed and whole on the cover, then realizing most are crushed and coated in oil dust. Still edible, sure, but nowhere near what you thought you were promised. And here's the thing, the people behind the counter know it. Staff quietly admit that during slow hours or right before closing, they face a tricky choice. Toss the overheld pieces and fall behind on prep, or serve them and hope they pass for fresh. Some try to mask it by giving the box a quick shake, maybe a spritz of heat from the warmer. Others just send it out, banking on the customer being too hungry to notice. Either way, that extra crispy label does most of the talking. This is where the illusion becomes profitable. Words like extra, premium, or signature trigger a quick assumption. You think superior ingredients, maybe a higher grade coating. In practice, it's usually the same supply, handled the same way, only priced to make you feel you've stepped up a level. The brand gets the boost in sales, and you get a smaller return on your dollar. It's a simple formula that works because it sounds harmless. After all, who questions a word like crispy? The payoff for KFC is that you, the buyer, equate that label with care. In reality, you're often funding turnover control. The restaurant clears older batches while maintaining the illusion of freshness. Customers leave believing they experienced something special, when all that happened was an extra layer of breading hiding the effects of time and heat. That's the quiet genius of the extra crispy name. It sells what age has taken away. If you want consistency, the original recipe often does better, not because it's fancy, but because its softer coating survives the waiting time. It keeps moisture where it belongs, in the chicken, not in the fryer oil. It might not pop or shatter when you bite down, but it probably tastes more like what you hoped for, a piece that was cooked for eating, not for advertising. And that subtle difference is what separates hype from something that still passes for real fried chicken. Extra crispy has turned into a marketing polish, not a measure of quality. The name sells a feeling, not a fact, and that shine distracts from what's losing its edge under the heat lamps. You're not paying for crunch, you're paying for the illusion of freshness, wrapped in oil and words that sound premium. Next time you see that glossy poster promising golden perfection, stop for a second. Ask yourself if that crunch is real, or just reheated branding. And if you want more truth behind those glossy food photos, like and subscribe to help us keep the spotlight on the food industry's best-kept secrets.